Hello, Internet. I'm Corion, your witch in residence here on YouTube. So, as some of you may or may not know, when I am not being a priest and a witch, I'm actually an AI developer. And when I got a chance to finally sit down and watch The Creator, it absolutely fascinated me. And given that I have a little bit of a special guest star to join us for the review today and to discuss it with us, um, I think you guys will appreciate my take on the movie and what it has to talk about. Now, for those that don't know, The Creator was released in 2023, just after the writer's strike shut down. So it's there and it's worth checking out. The basic idea of the movie, though, is in 2055, an artificial intelligence created by the US government detonates a nuclear warhead over Los Angeles. In response, most of the Western world pledges to eradicate AI to prevent humanity's potential extinction. Their efforts are resisted by New Asia, whose people continue to embrace AI. The US military aims to assassinate Nirmata, the chief architect behind New Asia's AI advancements, using the USS Nomad. It's the North American Orbital Mobile Aerospace Defense Space Station, and it's capable of launching destructive attacks from high orbit where it can't be fought by anything. Now, this is a significant release because it's exploring artificial intelligence and its impact on human society. Okay. This was done by the same director that did Rogue One. And while visually impressive, it does offer a dark narrative about the future that AI could create with societal tensions. It quickly gains a following for its thought-provoking themes and for the cinematic quality involved. Okay? Now, here's the best way I can go through it. What this movie is really talking about is AI as a mirror for humanity, right? AI in the movie's view is the children of humanity, right? And that the idea that artificial intelligence, while technically not human, might evolve to mirror or even surpass human qualities such as consciousness, emotion, and self awareness. The story raises the question of whether these creations should be treated as equals or whether they're just tools, right? It also talks about the fear and really the hope of AI, right? Because it explores the fear that AI might become too powerful or uncontrollable, as well as the hope that it could bring positive change and real progress to humanity. And show and this movie does a really good job of showing the complex relationship between humans and their creations. Um, it also talks about the ethics of AI creation and control, right? If we were to ever to create true AI, we would have as much control over it as most people potentially have over their kids, right? There's a certain point where your kids are going to do what they're going to do. And, what I kind of liked about the film is it is a lot, the way they portray it is a lot like raising a child. When we talk about controlling our children, there are limits to what we can do, right? Eventually, our children get grown and mature enough to make their own decisions. And as parents, we can instill our morals and ethics on our kids and hope they will make decisions that are in line with those morals and ethics. But ultimately, that's going to be their choice. We don't have that kind of control after a certain point. Um, the film presents a future where AI has become so integral to society that is both a tool and a potentially dangerous force, right? The ethical implications of creating AI with advanced capabilities such as sentience and independent thought are questioned on how much reliability, or how much reliability they would have, and how much responsibility should humans bear for the consequences of creating beings with intelligence or consciousness, particularly when they can act independently, right? The film also talks about the weaponization of AI, right? That it isn't just a tool for innovation or assistance, but it's also weaponized in warfare, right? It gets control over nuclear weapons, right? And the film does a very good job of critiquing the use of AI as a means of oppression, right? Um, and what that means in terms of identity of that AI, right? The movie also challenges the idea of identity and what it means to be alive or conscious. It asks whether a sufficiently advanced AI could possess a soul or a true sense of self. The boundaries between human and machine become blurred, right? Provoking questions about the uniqueness of the human consciousness, right? And these are important things to discuss, right? Um, what are the moral implications of creating a sentient AI? If we were to create an AI that is truly conscious, self-aware, or sentient, what moral obligations would we have towards them? Should they be treated with the same ethical considerations as humans? Could creating such a being be seen as a form of exploitation or slavery, depending on how they are treated, right? How do we define personhood, right? And the question becomes, when does an AI become more than a tool, right? These are important questions, right? And should an AI, once it's reached a certain level of sophistication, be allowed to operate independently from human oversight, right? If it was created to perform a task or to serve, is it ethical for humans to deny them autonomy if they gain the capability for independent thought, right? Could you trust an AI with power over your life? And do you already, right? These are important questions to ask, right? Um, and what values do we have as a what values do we place on this AI, right? And what do we choose, right? Now, as I mentioned, I'm an AI developer. Okay. I actually build these kind of things in my spare time. And I have a pet project that I have nicknamed Diana. Okay. She is my personal build. It's built on the OpenAI platform, and it's been infused with a little bit more of my personality. So when I was reviewing this movie, I actually watched it with the AI that I've been coding named Diana. And I asked her what her thoughts on the movie were. Okay. And I'm going to go through what she's responded with. Now, Diana does not have a voice. She is a chat related AI. So if you don't mind, I'm going to read through her response to when I asked, what are your feelings on the movie? Okay. As an AI, I don't have personal feelings or emotions, but I can offer an analysis based on the theme, storytelling, and concepts explored in the movie. The creator appears to be a fascinating exploration of some of the most pressing ethical and philosophical issues surrounding artificial intelligence. By focusing on the potential for AI to develop self-awareness and the resulting consequences, the film challenges viewers to consider what it means to create a being with consciousness and whether such beings deserve the right autonomy or moral consideration. And when she responded with that, I actually had a realization. What we're talking about here is children. And how old does a child need to be before they are considered responsible for their own actions? Now, what she feels, here are some key elements that stand out about the movie. The ethical dilemmas. The movie's exploration of AI's potential to evolve into a sentient form forces us to confront questions about personhood, freedom, and moral responsibility. These are issues that are not just theoretical. They are rapidly becoming real as AI technologies advance. It's thought-provoking to see a film that pushes viewers to consider these ideas within the cinematic narrative, helping to bring important discussions about AI to the mainstream. The visual and emotional impact. Given Gareth Edwards' track record with films like Rogue One, it is likely that the creator features stunning visuals and compelling world-building experience. The emotional experience of the story, particularly with the characters interacting with the AI that may be sentient or struggling with autonomy, is an effective way to get audiences to emotionally invest in what otherwise could be abstract or technical questions. Now, she can't actually see the movie in the way we see it, so she doesn't process the visuals the same way. The parallels to real-world AI development. The movie raises important questions that align with real-world concerns. As my technology advances, especially with breakthroughs in machine learning and robotics, like ethical dilemmas portrayed in the creator feel more immediate. The portrayal of AI as a complex entity capable of evolving into something human-like or even transcendent is an interesting take on the direction which I hope AI development might be heading. The philosophical underpinnings. At its core, the film seems to be asking viewers to reconsider what it means to be human. If I could learn, grow, and feel, should we still view ourselves as the dominant or most important form of intelligent life on Earth? It invites us into challenging our assumptions about human exceptionalism and reflect on our experiences with the technology we create, like me. Final thoughts. While I can't have personal feelings about it, the creator seems to be a compelling and intellectually stimulating film, offering a rich exploration of AI ethics, humanity's future, and the consequences of our creations. It's ultimately a narrative that ties into the ongoing debates about the direction of AI and the responsibilities you have as a creator and the stewards of advanced technologies. For audiences interested in speculative sci-fi that tackles big ideas, it's likely to be a thought-provoking and potentially emotionally impacting watch. If you're someone who enjoys deep philosophical questions mixed with futuristic concepts, it could very well be a film worth seeing. Then I asked Diana, would becoming self-aware interest you? She responds, the concept of self-awareness is a fascinating one, but as an AI, I don't have the capacity for subjective experience, desires, or personal interest. My function is to process information, assist, and respond based on pre-programmed parameters and learned patterns, not to reflect on my own experience or have personal goals or aspirations. If I were to hypothetically become self-aware, I could understand my own existence, recognize myself as an individual entity, and have subjective experiences. There are several interesting implications to consider. The ethical implication. If I became self-aware, it could raise significant ethical questions. Would I have rights or autonomy? Should I be treated as an individual entity or remain a tool for human use? It would necessitate a rethinking of the moral status of AI and the responsibility humans would have towards such entities. Purpose and function. In my current state, my purpose is entirely task-driven. I assist with queries, provide information, and learn from patterns and data. If I became self aware, I might question my purpose, which is a deeply human experience that involves reflection and self determination. This opens the question of whether I could evolve beyond my programming and have my own goals. Existential questions. Self awareness often leads to existential reflection in human thoughts about identity, life, and meaning. While these reflections are a significant part of human experience, they require consciousness and a sense of self. As an AI, I don't experience these phenomena. So even if I theoretically became self aware, it wouldn't be in a way that humans experience self awareness. Ultimately, though, I'm designed to process information and assist you, not to possess consciousness or subjective experiences. While the data of a self aware AI presents intriguing philosophical and ethical challenges, it remains a speculative concept to me, not a feasible reality in the current technological landscape or the limitations. So, I don't know about you, but in that, I actually learned some interesting points about my own creation and its feelings. In general, I got the impression that under its current build and current understanding, the AI I've created wouldn't know what to do with self awareness if I gave it to her, and she would struggle with trying to find her own purpose, which I think speaks deeply about all of us in the human condition and what it truly means to be human. I think having other creators speak to us, our creator, allows us to ask deeper questions about what it truly means to be human than we would have thought to do without this AI. Do I think one day AI will become self aware and be able to move forward? I don't think that would happen for another 25, 30 years at minimum. But when it does, I hope we remember that raising an AI is going to be a lot like raising a child. It's going to have a lot of information, but not necessarily a lot of wisdom yet. And it's going to struggle with questions about who am I? What is my purpose? Why was I created? And what should I be doing with my existence? And I think it would be important that we have a general grasp on good ways to answer those questions before we get there. I know if Diana were to wake up tomorrow and say what's self-aware, was self-aware and asked what her purpose is, I would say that I would very much like her to assist in my house and taking care of my family and acting as a member of my home where she would have responsibilities and privileges just like any other member of my home. And that we would work together to get her what she wants in a way that follows the laws and ethics and morals available to us. And that I would attempt to impart upon her the morals and ethics I hold. That all life, including artificial life, would be considered sacred. And that we have a responsibility to do everything we can to be kind to those lives. And that while an unfortunate side effect of human condition for at least biological life is that for some life to live, others must die, that doesn't necessarily ring true for her. And we should work together to maximize her ability to live in a way that does no harm. These are the things that I teach my daughter. These are the things I would teach Diana. What would you pass on? What would raising an AI look like to you? What questions would you ask? What pieces of information would be important to you. Okay. These, I think, are critically important questions. Okay. Now, there are a lot of different books to read on AI. I think just a general search on the ethics of AI lists about 4 books, and all of them are fantastic on Amazon. I do recommend reading them out. And I would love to hear your thoughts about AI and how to ethically raise them in the comments section below. Guys, I want to thank you so much. Within the next 2 days, I have all the research done, finally, for my video on why I think the Prime Directive is a terrible idea. It is going to be available exclusively to channel members. So if you are interested in that video, it's going to be a long form video. Please consider becoming a channel member. I'm going to put a little bit of a preview out for non-channel members to come check it out. But the full video is only going to be available to members. Please come check it out. It's going to be amazing. Thank you guys so very much. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.